Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Well, it's not our introduction. It's
Billy Boy over here is sitting next to me on this lovely couch, and we're leaning back, and it is really quite comfy. But Billy Boy over here, we just completed a misfire, but Billy Boy ate half of this thick 20 fucking pound fudge cake thing. I say 20 pounds. That's an exaggeration, but it was quite dense. Like my personality and
your skull
and my skull, and Billy's a little sleepy here, so I figured I'll fire the first round and pass it off to Billy here.
It's actually going to me.
It's yeah, that's right. How can I forget? I'm a douche nozzle.
It's my
Sorry.
birthday.
the cake was for your birthday.
The cake was for my birthday, and cake is a very loosely used term because, like Chris said, it is a 20-pound mound of fudge. That was super sweet for you to get.
Literally.
For us.
Okay.
Yeah, literally. All sugar.
Do we need to pause so you can set up your intro?
No, we're fine. Do we have? Okay, we can if you want.
It's your
Did I
intro.
ruin that?
You just do your intro.
We could just start over.
No.
Did I
it's
ruin
fine.
it?
I'm just gonna bear with me. First things first. I'm the realist. Drop this and let the whole world feel it. And I can hold you down like I'm giving lessons of physics, right? You know you want a bad bitch like this. Drop it low and pick it up just like this. Cup of ace, cup of goose, cup of Chris. High heels, something worth half a ticket on my wrist. Drinking all the liquor straight, never chase that. Rooftop, bringing 88 back. What? Champagne spilling, you should taste that. All right, so
Oh. 5 stars. Bravo. Bravo.
Oh my god! I felt like we were at a slam poetry cafe. That was tremendous.
That was great.
Holy smokes!
Got a bad bitch over here.
Yeah.
Top shelf.
I'm very fancy. That's what you need to know.
Okay.
Spicy.
So fancy. Spicy, like memes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do have a game I want to talk about, but because you brought it up and it made me laugh so much, the thick skull thing. One of the the best outtakes from Parks and Rec, which I'm sure we're all familiar with, at least the show, is Chris Pratt talking to Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson. And I don't even remember what the actual scene was, but he talks about, he was like, they actually call me a physical anomaly. When I was born, I had, it was like his head was fully grown, full head of hair and teeth, and his skull or his head was entirely bone. It was very difficult. He goes on this whole thing, and you can just see they're both cracking up on the end. It's just, and of course they end up cracking up, but that just reminded me of that, and I love it so much.
One of my favorite joke from Parks and Rec was when Leslie was sick with something, and Chris Pratt's character Andy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He goes, Leslie, I entered your symptoms in the search bar here, and it says you might have connectivity issues.
Network connectivity.
Oh yeah. It's like her diagnosis. Wait, do we want to introduce who's talking on the microphone today?
Oh, maybe. So, I'm Iggy Azalea.
Oh my god.
Or so fancy.
I am very fancy and a bad bitch like
Pinky out. Do it.
this.
It's actually Genevieve. If you haven't deduced who is speaking on the microphone, it's Genevieve.
Yes, it's Genevieve, and it's my birthday, so
Welcome to
I'm
a
gonna
special
host this shit show.
birthday episode. I have no idea where it's going, but this is one of my favorite traditions now that we have on the podcast, a birthday episode.
All right.
And I'm Chris, and I almost derailed that, but sorry. Happy
You're
birthday.
fine, You're fine.
I'm Big Billy, and I am in a sugar coma. I haven't had more than 25 carbs in a month, so this is a little bit of a shock to my system.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that explains everything then.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
I'm Jake, and I don't know how you did it. And also, we just did a misfire that was as long as a standard episode. So you should check that out.
pretty hefty.
We didn't even, if we had the stamina, we were all stallions.
I could have gone on for hours and hours.
Really could have. We could have done a whole day just talking and talking. All right, we're all introduced. Take it away.
Okay. So, really the only update in the video game world I have right now is a game called Unravel, which I did get from EA in the course of buying all my Sim stuff and some Batman stuff. It was on sale, so I was like, "Yeah, it looks cute. I'm gonna try it out." I'm not entirely sure how you would describe the type of game, like a platformer.
Definitely a side scroller and a platformer, yeah.
Okay. But essentially you're this little yarn creature that looks kind of like a rabbit cat with little ears. And you go on these adventures. Like your home base is this old lady's house. And you go out and explore around like the forest. There's a beach level. Train tracks. Right now I am still on I guess it's 2 levels. They split it up where it's like I want to say nuclear waste. Something happened. You're kind of going through and you find memories from what's happened in these places. But yeah, we've got some of the game footage pulled up here on our screen, and you can see it's your little yarn guy is attached to a string. So everywhere you go, you have to be aware that you're hanging on to something, or you've got this line behind you that pulls you places. And keeping that in mind, you use your yarn because you can throw part of it as a lasso and climb up to things. Like
it looks gorgeous.
It is. It's a beautiful game. Yeah, everything looks amazing. And then the other part is because you keep unraveling as you're walking along the level, you eventually get to a point where you can't go any further because you're gonna fall apart because you no longer have any substance to you. You have to kind of strategize the best way to keep as much yarn before you get to a checkpoint where you get more yarn. So you see, oh no, they almost showed it there, but it's kind of like you find like a ball of yarn twisted up somewhere in the world, and you have to figure out how to get to it. And you get bonuses for collecting small items like that one, but that's actually the end of the level because you're collecting these as the memories. It's as far as the story goes and the music, it's all really like sentimental feeling. It's not really intriguing in much at all, really, but the gameplay, I think, is what really drew me to it because you sort of play with physics. You have to figure out how to get around the levels and how to ration your yarn, essentially.
So are you some sort of horrible string monster that's been necromanced? Or
oh my goodness, I hope so, but I don't know. He's mute. He doesn't even talk. He just has eyeballs, and you run around and you just...
There's no explanation as to what the heck it is?
No.
You're not like a thread of a memory or something?
Nope. Not that I can tell. You're just like created in this old lady's house with all her memories.
Oh, okay.
Unless that's some... To be honest, when I started the game up, for whatever reason, the volume wasn't working at all. Or like there was no sound coming from the game. So the intro, it wasn't very long, and I don't think there was any narration, but I didn't hear it, and I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like, I've never heard of an entirely silent game, so let me figure out what's going on. And as it's playing, I'm looking on my other computer to see if this is like a common thing, if this is something that's supposed to happen. Apparently it's kind of an issue with the game where, for me, I just restarted it and it came on. But some people were like, you have to go into the settings and change it to this and that. And like, for whatever reason, the default for some people was on mute. So, or silence, I guess. So yeah, you're just this creature. And I haven't watched the ending and I haven't played through the ending yet. So I don't know what the end product is. I think there's only like 1 or 2 levels left for me. But I just haven't gotten to those.
So what'd you pay for it?
I think it was like $5 because it was on sale.
And how long have you played it?
Like somewhere in the teens of hours, I think.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Are there loot crates, in-game purchases, anything along those lines?
No, nothing like that. You just play. You just play this
That's
little
kinda
yarn,
nice.
Dorcas.
Are there enemies?
Yeah, there's like a groundhogs, I want to call them, some kind of rodent underground that comes after you. Crabs at the beach will come after you. And you use your like lasso and jumping around the level basically to trap them or scare them away. You kind of have to puzzle that out, and it's just a giant puzzle.
What happens when you die?
Oh, there is no health. You either die or you make it out. So you can usually, if you fall off something or into water, you can use whatever the last string is you have. You can pull yourself up by that. Other than that, you just, like, if you're underwater for so long or you fall off the screen into like nothing for so long, you just die and restart at the last ball of yarn you found.
So I watched you play this a little bit, and it's certainly neat in that wherever you travel, you leave a trail of string behind you. And like you said, you really can utilize it in different ways. You can pull yourself up, you can throw it over obstacles, and then kind of drag yourself. You know, you can like, if there's a chasm in front of you, there might be a nail, and then you can loop your string around that nail and pull yourself across the chasm.
There's points where you can like tie a knot on a nail or whatever you're hanging from, and then if you can jump or find your way over to another point, which they light up, so it's not really hard to find, and they usually have red string on them anyway, like a little bow or something. But if you connect 2 points, like tie knots on 2 points, you can, most of the time, there's some spots where you can't, but you can like slingshot yourself up.
Could you go like back to like reacquire some of your yarn and renegotiate an obstacle?
Yeah, you can for most parts. There's some sections in the middle, later levels where things happen that you can't go back to. Like there's parts where you have to navigate rocks falling down on you, or like you go through like a little bit of a landslide, and just the way they fall, you can't go back. Like it's just, it blocks it off. But you pretty much have enough yarn to get everywhere. There's just been a few times where I'm like, why can't I get over to this one ledge? And then I realize like, oh, there's a little secret place to go to get more yarn, and then you keep going. So you kind of, it's hard to miss things that you actually need. The only thing you might miss are the little bonus, not memories though, I guess. There's 5 per each level, and it's just like little bonuses you get for finding these things, and they're usually in inconvenient spots that you have to puzzle again to get to. So it's frustrating.
So do you think you'll end up beating the game?
Yeah. Just need another day or two to actually play.
All right, well, that's pretty neat. I never would have heard of this game if you hadn't brought it up.
Well, I thought it was cute, and I was like, oh, okay, but let me try it.
Sounds kind of fun. Sounds novel.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, when you're done, I'm going to have to kick the crap out of it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Does anyone have any more questions about Unravel?
Is it just like a level by level thing? Are there I know you haven't beaten the whole thing yet, but have there been anything reminiscent of, say, a boss fight?
No, there's no fighting. It's really just levels. You're just trying to get those little, like, I don't even know, like a little yarn trinket for the scrapbook back at the house that has all the memories. And it looks like, in a way, I'm a little creeped out because you go through it and there's like pictures of actual people. Like they've had actors like come out and do like the first level, you're going around the yard of the house and like a little into the woods. And when you finish that level, the scrapbook fills for that section or that chapter. So you get, like, you see these like kids playing in the yard, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, I just want to play my game. Like, what is this?
Weird.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's nostalgic and cute, and like it's not really like a violent or intense game. It's kind of just like puzzling. Just for funsies.
Brain game.
Yeah.
Just a very fancy looking one because it really like graphically and it does look very, very smooth. It is very nice. The colors are very nice. It kind of looks I want to say Toy Story, but no. But like it's a nice palette, I think.
It's like
It's
pretty
definitely
realistic.
appealing.
It's realistic, but the colors are pretty vibrant. The levels I'm currently on, it's raining and gross and it's toxic waste, and you have to kind of jump through all that. And
Very much a platformer with a niche mechanic with the whole string element and what that opens up to you and how it limits you. And seems like a very, very good, simple recipe with a whole lot of polish on it.
Boy, I love this art.
It looks
Yeah,
so
like
good.
the
It looks so good.
perspective. The
Aesthetically, it's so good.
perspective is amazing. Like, cause like you saw in that one scene where the bird was flying toward us. Like, it's really just perspective is very, very good in the game.
The focus and the lensing, like how everything in frame is in focus, and the further away stuff gets, it blurs out, and how they use that. At one point here, there's a scene where there's a bird flying toward you, but like toward the camera, and therefore towards your character. And the way you just mentioned it, the way it like comes into focus is like it almost elicits an emotion unto itself.
Yeah. I mentioned earlier that it's a side scroller, and I realized that we haven't exactly touched on what that is. So the early Super Mario games, you moved from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen until you navigated through the whole level. Well, this is
Castlevania, Contra, lots and lots of old school games.
Yeah, and this is the same sort of thing. However, all the models and images and everything in the game are drawn with 3D perspective. So you look like you're 3D in a 3D world, but you can only really move in 2 dimensions, left and right and up and down. But boy, howdy, is this art great, because
quality.
Like Jake was saying, everything that's close to the camera is in focus. Everything far away is get a little bit blurred.
It looks like cinema. It looks like something Pixar
it looks
would
like
put
a
out.
movie. Yeah, I could see them making some kind of.
Dude, you're
movie
exactly
out of this.
right. I can't believe that these videos from the game, these look like real productions. Maybe it's just because I'm
That's
old.
the thing that's the thing that kind of pisses me off with EA is that their games are very visually striking, especially now recently. Like Battlefront, the new Battlefront is gorgeous, but it's in practice it's greasy. That whole situation, which we've obviously touched on, but there's no denying that the games that they're putting out are very visually beautiful.
And I don't know who, like the developer, or I don't know, like besides EA, who else was involved in this, but all of the text you'll see it looks like some kind of Scandinavian language. Like, I don't know if it's gibberish or if it's real.
Either Scandinavia or Eastern Europe. I can't tell.
Yeah,
and you can interact with the world. It looks like now too.
So this is.
Is this what you were talking about with the pictures?
Yeah. Well, this is like your home base. So that's your first.
well, our viewer
level.
can't see what we're seeing, so describe it.
Home base is you're literally in this old lady's house. You start off next to the scrapbook that I was talking about, and then you can go right, and the more right you go, like the more levels you find. So the first one you come across is the only one available. You go into that one, which we're watching now, and that's you kind of leaving the house and going through the yard and a little into the woods. And then the second level, I think, is still wooded, and the third, I think, is the beach. So it's like it's not really all together, but it makes me think of like people's vacation homes, kind of. And so I don't know where the story is actually going towards the end here, but
To the right.
Always going to the right.
But see, yeah, that's what you get when you're too far from yarn, or you're running out of yarn. So you have to, and you can usually tell, like, when you're at the end of your string, literally, you'll see more knots in the yarn. And then there should be like a ball sitting around that you can interact with, and then you're attached to that one. And like I said, that's your last save point.
Yeah, it's like a checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely play this. Yeah. This is one of those games that you would use like when you needed to take a break from like a very major game that you're working on.
Yeah, and
it looks like it seems relaxing, but it makes you think just enough.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons I like. One of the reasons I bought it, because I also was like, it's kind of cute. It looks interesting. And then for me last week it was really good, or 2 weeks ago when I started playing it, it just like, it doesn't make you think too much. So I was having a rough week, and kind of just helped distractify me.
Casual.
Yeah. But I mean, like it does get frustrating at points, but you can eventually figure it out relatively easily enough. Like I think the kite gave me trouble at one point. You can like attach to a kite and you fly off. But you do have to kind of direct the way it goes. And I couldn't figure out the mechanics of it for a long time. Yeah, it's a super sweet little
it's very
little funsies game.
Yeah, for $5, I mean that's hard to beat.
But that was on sale.
This is a
so I don't
beautiful
know what
game
the
for a
full-
$5 game.
Absolutely. It almost seems like it ended up being good because it just sort of snuck right under the radar.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, we're not going to make $1 million off this thing. And somebody cared a lot about it, and boom, they made a good
That's what I was assuming. Like it's kind of like someone's child, like
Yeah, a little
product
labor of
of
love.
like their brainchild.
I like it, man. I can't wait to play it.
same here.
Yeah.
Good find.
Good find. Good job, EA.
All right, where are we going after this, babe?
After this,
Sorry, Genevieve.
bib, bro,
Bob.
Bob,
Boo boo.
boo boo. No, I was gonna bring up that yesterday after playing or watching Bill play rugby, we went to Goodwill, and lo and behold, Goodwill had my stupid Barbie horse riding
Oh my
game
God.
in English this time, though. So I'm going to be thrilled after, 16 years of not knowing what the fuck she's trying to get me to do. I get to actually play this stupid game and know what's going on.
Oh my God. How much you pay?
It was like $2.
Of course.
Nice.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So, yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, I've recently started stumbling into Goodwills, and there's so much good shit, man. I'm not surprised we found this video game. I have a problem. I just can't. I can't leave a Goodwill without some of this good shit. I bought 2 George Foreman grills. Why? Because they were $10 and $5, and one's really big and one's just right for like a sandwich. You know? I bought a crock pot. I bought a big crock pot. Why? Because it was $5 and there was no lid, so they sold it to me for $3.
Wow.
And then I bought a lid at another Goodwill. And then I bought like 5 Pyrex dishes because they were all $2, and I smashed one of my Pyrex dishes. And Pyrex is great. I have a problem, Jake. I can't stop. Like I'll see junk sales, yard sales, or whatever on the
yes.
side of the road. I'm like, oh! And Genevieve's like, no, you can't go. I go, but there might be good stuff.
It's a treasure
I love
trove,
yard sales,
man.
and I never get to go. I never have the chance.
When I worked
it
at
makes me so anxious. Like all that clutter.
Yeah.
Like I can't.
When I worked at Giant, there was a woman who she would always like get really excited, so I would listen to her because it made her happy. But she would tell me about how she would go to like these yard sales and like find something that like we would kind of just like skim over,
Right.
and then she would go online and it was worth like $200.
Well, I think that's what Bill's
So
goal is.
she's like, you should hang with her, man.
Who's that?
This woman I used to that was a customer at my previous employer.
Oh, she was a customer. She wasn't even like a coworker.
No, she
But
was
you
a
just
customer.
talked to
So
her?
like it made her happy to tell me about her yard sale finds. So yeah, no, she made a couple bucks.
That's cool. I have a couple things that I know could definitely go on eBay for, 2,000 times the 10 cents I paid for them or whatever. I've never sold anything on eBay though. I'm a little nervous, I gotta say.
I sold like one little stupid thing. It was like I don't remember. Back in my airsofting days, I think it was like a dumb pouch or something that didn't fit what I needed it for. I just like sold it at a loss, just want to recoup some of my investment.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, funnily enough, while playing this game at my house, Bill had come over, and like I'm playing in my room. He starts going through all the stuff I've put aside to get rid of because I'm in the middle of like spring cleaning my room. And I think you pulled out like half of it, and you're like, "I'll take this. Like I need all this stuff." Like,
Yeah.
it's like a broken fan.
You didn't list any of the good stuff in the one thing you listed. She has sunglasses that are Batman.
Oh my god.
She had a lunchbox with Batman on it.
Oh my god.
The Batman.
She had a cool rolling pin.
Did have Batman.
Did have
on it.
Batman.
It didn't have Batman on it. No.
No, but it was
You should put Batman on
but
it.
it was from Zioma
Zioma from Lexington.
from Lexington. What else did she have in there? maybe some dumb stuff that I should have thrown out. But
With Batman
looked
on
cool. She had like 6 handkerchiefs that I can wear over my head now
Bandanas.
that I shave it.
Shaped it.
Yeah. She was just going to give this stuff away, and I can use it.
She did give it away to
Yeah,
you.
to you.
She was going to give it away to the trash gods.
The god of garbage.
And by that you
Oscar.
mean burning it so that it goes up in the sky and
I
becomes
also
stars.
found out she gave away an old Christmas gift. I think that's really why she was upset I discovered it.
No, I'm mad because I was trying to show you this game and play it, and then you start going through my stuff, and then my mom starts going through my stuff, and I was like, oh, actually, I'll keep this. I'm like, no, you cannot wear my old clothes, Mom. That's weird. I don't like it. I'm getting rid of it for a reason, and
My mom has old T-shirts of mine that she wears. I'm pretty okay with it.
Nice.
Yeah, my mom took an old sweater and then gave it to Genevieve.
Yep.
So it's like double hand-me-down.
and it's like from when
So
you
what?
were like 14, and it's still too big for me.
Yeah, I think it's great. What's your problem?
What's my problem?
Yeah, why do you hate sharing?
It's not sharing.
It's
To me-
caring.
To me, it's clutter.
Oh, right,
Ooh.
right.
She also probably doesn't want to smell like you, Bill.
Burn.
Whoa. if only they invented a thing called a washing machine. Oh, wait, they did, Chris. Get with it.
Wait, what?
This is X year. It is no longer the previous year.
Whoa.
Um,
Groundbreaking argument.
Yeah. So I wonder if we're even going to be able to run this goddamn Barbie game.
I hope so.
What's it for?
Yeah, what platform is it?
Oh shit, I don't even know.
It's
It
a
is supposed to be
PC game.
right?
You can probably do it.
Here's the
It's
thing.
gotta be on my computer, and I left that at home for the weekend.
Here's
so.
the thing.
Here's the thing. Go back to a Goodwill.
Get
Pick up
a
an old
PC.
Windows 95 for like $10.
Dude, I'm actually positive I saw one the other day. I saw an old Pentium 4 sitting
Ooh.
around. I was like,
Ooh.
My last gaming rig before this one was a Pentium 4. Yeah, it was some high power shit in its day.
it was, man. Do you,
5 million years ago.
we had a Pentium 3 that my stepdad used forever.
Hmm.
He had it for like 12 years. I'm like, dude, just buy a new machine. You spent $900 on this one 12 years ago. Sometimes you have to replace things. But he's been sleeping on the same mattress for maybe
Ugh.
20 years.
Mm.
Ugh,
What?
just sounds like.
Yeah, it's what is it? Every 10 you're supposed to.
I don't know, but this thing has craters in it
Oh,
Yeah.
from like, him being a huge man and sleeping in the same bed.
Mm. Wow.
But that, I mean,
Fan.
there was an episode. Speaking, I'm gagging thinking about it. So I was watching Dirty Jobs,
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
and
I'm probably exaggerating with the number of years this mattress has been around. But, whatever.
But apparently, your mattress gains an extra 10 pounds
Of dead
after
skin.
X amount of years because it's all of your dead skin and shit in
lie.
it.
No, no.
I believe it. I believe it.
You'll believe anything that makes me seem like a monster.
Well,
Maybe
shoe
if you weren't
fits.
such a monster.
yeah.
As I sit here with my gut hanging out full of peanut butter fudge.
Sugar coma.
Oh my God.
What is this episode? What even?
This is the Genevieve episode.
Yeah.
That's why. It's,
So do you
This
remember,
is the
all
Genevieve episode of all the men are in sugar coma.
yeah.
do you
exactly.
do you remember anything of the gameplay? This one's in English. And to really get the full effect, we'd have to find it in Dutch or whatever the fuck it was.
See, the horse game is we had it in French. The detective game, which we still need to find in English, we had it in German.
So are we shorting ourselves a true experience by
By not
having
playing
in
it
English?
in a foreign language,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe the solution is just to get super wasted and try to figure it out.
I think the solution is to play the fucking game in English so that you know what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm worried it's going to end up being 20-minute advertisement for Barbie.
I'm certain that it is.
It's
No.
Absolutely.
I want it
that.
to be engaging, all right? I want it to be
No, I don't remember.
at
it
least
being-
12 hours of gameplay. So
I don't
wait, am
remember
I
it
just
being-
fucking sucks?
Go on, write a review
Next
for a game
episode.
back in 1990, whatever.
Yeah. 26-year-old man. This game is bullshit. This game from 2002.
Fucking angry video game nerd over here.
Oh my god.
Oh,
No, Oh, Jesus. I wonder if you know what? I'm half expecting it to be really hard, though. Like,
Could be.
Unusually
It
hard.
was from that era.
so difficult to, like, pet the pony. I'm like, how do I construct a brush?
Construct a brush. Yes.
Just slaughter a horse for its hair.
Yeah, there's like a really...
Oh my goodness.
you have to do it outside of
not a feature in
eyesight
the
of
French
its
version.
like baby horses, and you gotta like rub the smell off so they can't tell.
It's like Barbie Dark Souls edition.
Oh my goodness.
I think there was a movie about that. It was actually called Barb Wire with Pamela Anderson in it.
But
You
what
remember
is
that
it?
movie? It was called Barb Wire.
I can
What
say-
was it
I
about?
can say safely, I remember
You said-
nothing with Pamela Anderson in it that was a movie.
Tommy Lee was not in this movie.
You said, sir, I think there was a movie about that. After
Like what?
I
horse
gave a Dark Souls edition of Barbie,
is
and I am
apparently barbed
questioning this
wire.
claim right now. You are in the hot seat, sir. Explain yourself.
Well, it was just an excuse to get Pamela Anderson into black leather and blow shit up, and her name was Barb.
Mm-hmm.
Barb Wire.
Okay.
And it was pretty much Barbie in black latex,
Okay.
dark souling shit and killing everything. It was literally just Pam Anderson blowing shit up.
She's a criminal. She's a mercenary. Like what is?
It was like a mercenary.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was it was Barbie killing shit. There you go.
Jesus.
Barb Wire.
Thank you for that
One
explanation.
of my
I am
favorite
satisfied.
Pamela Anderson. Pretty sure it's her. Yeah. Productions, I guess you could call it, is that Stan Lee of Marvel Comics made and based this character off of Pamela Anderson, a superhero who's also a stripper named Stripperella. And it got made into a cartoon,
Indeed.
and it's as ridiculous as it sounds.
I don't know. Sounds pretty fucking ridiculous.
It is.
Can you tell us any of the adventures of Stripperella?
Well, you do get to see her. It's a cartoon. You see cartoon Stripperella do her, I guess, nighttime job as a stripper. And then she gets on these random missions. Like, I think the first one was about like some crazy plastic surgeon who's attacking celebrities and filling them with
no.
fat to make them hideous. And she has to go stop him, and it is. I told you, it's as ridiculous as it sounds.
I couldn't believe it, but then you proved me incorrect.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is preposterous.
I think it was only like one season, and
How
it.
could that not be picked up?
I know, right? But it's still a comic. I don't know how many.
Stripperella.
Yeah, I don't know how
Is
many.
it just a porn comic now?
I mean, it might as well have been. I mean, they show the boobies in the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you have to deal with her dumb stripper friends.
see
as
the
they're like,
tatas?
I think I like this guy, but he's got a conjoined twin attached to him. Like, he comes to visit me, and now I'm dating his brother.
Oh no.
That's literally a subplot. Like,
Oh no.
one of her friends, who's a stripper, is like severely anxious for some reason.
Stripperella got a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
More than I thought.
8.1 out of 10 on TV.com.
What?
Got a
84% of Google users who have voted enjoy this show.
I mean,
Okay.
it's entertaining. It's entertaining to say the least. It's trash, though.
A stripper by night and a superhero by late night.
Wait.
What?
This is beyond the pale. It came out in 2003?
Yeah, it's been up for a while.
Oh,
and
okay.
Kid Rock makes a guest appearance on the show as Kid
now
Rock.
I have to watch it. Okay, let's read some of these
Reviews.
episode names. Oh, Jesus Christmas. Let's get
Please
down to
read.
the first one. Season 1, episode 1. Beauty and the Obese.
Yes, there we go.
Evil Dr. Caesarean injects models with instant fattening implants.
Okay, that's the one you described.
Episode 2. Crime doesn't pay. Seriously, it really doesn't. What's the summary on this one? Oh, come on, Google load.
Just says awful.
Crime doesn't pay, but stripping does.
Oh my God, I bet that's the friggin' tagline. All right, I'm not clicking anymore. That was a mistake. Stripperella goes up against a cheap villain and his cowering henchman. Episode 3, everybody loves Pushy.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
Episode 4, Wrath of the King Klinko. Copier stores. What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Now we're getting good. Episode 5, You Only Lick Twice.
Oh my god.
Queen Clitoris launches a campaign against men.
Oh.
How can you not want to see that?
Wow.
Like,
Queen Clitoris.
Are there a lot of like feminist undertones?
Wait a minute. Episode
not
6
that
has
I've
the
picked up on, but
Episode
maybe.
6 has
It's
the
been
same-
I watched it a few years ago. I don't know.
Okay.
Episode 6 has the same title as Episode 1, Beauty and the Obese. Stripperella figures out what is happening to supermodels and saves others from exploding
Maybe it's
breast
a-
implants.
Maybe it's part
Typo.
2.
Exploding breast implant.
Episode 7, Evil things come in small packages. Small fry tries to make the rest of the world smaller. Episode 8, Eruption Junction. What's your function? 9, The Bridesmaid. 10, The Evil Magicians. 11, Cheapo by the dozen. 12, Return of the Queen. 13, The Curse of the Werebeaver. Stripperella must stop a rampaging werebeaver monster.
Wow.
And she has all these stupid gadgets that are like James Bond level of like specific for each mission. And of course, like you probably saw her outfit. She's got like the mask for her eyes. She has Pam Anderson's hair, like big done up hair. And then like I think it's like a half jacket or like a cropped like leather jacket with like her boobs hanging out. And then like a mini skirt and thigh-high boots. And
As
she's
you
just-
do.
As you do when
That's
you
my
when you
usual
fight
Thursday
crime.
attire, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
In the
how I
late
fight
night.
crime.
That's how I commit
Fighting
crime.
evil.
Yeah.
Wait, no. What? Fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by
Oh
daylight.
my god, he's singing Sailor Moon.
Never running for a real fight.
He's singing
She
Sailor
is
Moon.
one named Sailor Moon.
I actually never really watched that
She's
series.
got a friend, Stripperella. She also fights crime.
No.
Wears really high boots. She works at night and fights then too.
Wow.
She fights in the strip club.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was beautiful, Bill. Please never do it again.
You know, I guess you could lure in some real baddies to strip clubs, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, bad guys need love too.
You know what they need more? Justice.
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 Justice. We're gonna give you assholes justice.
Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent. Can we trust him?
Where are the other drugs going?
If you not
Hey,
who okay,
where are the
whose
other drugs
impression is
going?
that? We're talking about Pete Holmes?
Yeah. It's Pete
Oh
Holmes.
my god. If you haven't watched him, he does a series of sketches called Bad
I
Man.
think it's with college
Yep.
humor.
College humor, yep.
One episode is Batman finding his voice. So he
That's
goes through all these
excellent.
different, where are the other drugs going?
Well, the other drug's going.
Hey, where are the other drugs going?
What?
The criminal's just hanging upside down, just like, no.
No, I'm not
No,
that's not it
intimidated.
either. No.
That's
A
all right.
little too tinny.
The best part, I think the best part of that, the second best part of that sketch is at the very beginning. The criminal like takes some food from a falafel guy, and he doesn't pay for it. The falafel guy's like, "Hey man, I got kids to feed," and the criminal goes, "What? They don't like falafel?" And he goes, "Actually, that's a really good idea. That solves most of my problems. Thank you." And then at the very end of the sketch, Batman found his voice, and he goes, he's like, the guy's hanging upside down. He goes, bad guy's like, "Hey, that's a good voice." He goes, "Oh, really? You like it?" He goes, "Yeah, I like it. I swear to God." Bad guy goes, "Swear to me!" Throws him off the building, which is my favorite line from that movie. Oh man, it's well done. You guys should watch it. So
We're just
Definitely.
going to spend the rest of the episode plugging other people's content.
yeah. Well, all right, G. I mean, are we done with Barbie? What else are we? Have you? Are they still making Barbie video games? And if they're not, do you want them?
Oh God. I would rather not. If that becomes a segment for the show, though, I might be about it just because it's
Barbie game of the week.
So
There are
dumb.
surely hundreds.
Millions.
Well, I think there's always been Barbie movies. I know recently they've got more like in depth, and there's like Barbie Princess Everything, Barbie's version of all the princesses. So
Gotta
I'm
be
imagining the
compete with Disney
games
Princess,
at this
right?
point have to be probably that.
I mean, if you spend one Saturday morning watching like cartoons on ABC or Cartoon Network or Disney Channel or any of them, like half the all the, they're targeting their audience, little kids. So there's all kinds of commercials for movies and shows and toys, the works. I haven't done this in quite some time, so I'm not sure where it stands currently.
Yo, some of those kids commercials for toys get me super hype.
Yep.
There's always something about some sort of blaster.
Yep.
The new Nerf Hydro Blaster.
Yep.
Gotta have it.
Dude, remember
need
how
that.
intense? Remember the board game Crossfire?
Crossfire.
That shit was
Dude,
intense.
I had it. I never knew how to actually play it.
I didn't even know. Like, I thought it was just to shoot balls.
Sling balls at each other.
There was
This is what I usually do on weekends.
there was some sort of it was like I don't think Super Soaker made it, but maybe they did. It was a gun, like a water gun, but it shot congealed fluid.
What?
I remember.
And they
that.
marketed it a couple times. I remember seeing it live, and then I never saw it again because they quick cut to a kid getting shot all over his face
Oh,
with a literal goo gun. And then somebody somewhere went, "What the flying fuck are you doing?" And they went, "Oh shit, how do we ever market this thing?" And took everything down.
That hurts
my God.
that hurts my soul.
It
That poor kid. I wonder if he was just like the jizz kid at school forever.
The jizz kid?
Yeah,
Explain yourself.
because it looks
woman.
like jizz just shooting him
that
in
is
the face.
the problem. It looked like this kid was getting a jizz gun fired at him.
Okay, I think the road my mind went down is that Jizz Kid was some kind of routine bully designation. Yeah, he was just that school's Jizz Kid. There's one in every school.
Someone's got to do
Like,
the job.
what?
Someone's got to be the jizz kid.
How does one earn this title, and how do I avoid it?
That would be a much more interesting podcast if we found out that not only did Genevieve's school have a jizz kid, but she thought it was normal.
We did not have a jizz kid at my school.
Oh,
Sad.
I
that's
recall
a
having
shame.
one in our
That's a
senior-
shame.
Although I guess if there was such a thing and I didn't know about it, that would make me the jizz kid if I was unaware. Right?
Just gonna let that hang there for a
Yeah.
moment.
That's a soundbite.
Yep.
Gonna leave that sit.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
I
Let that
can't wait
simmer.
till we get a soundboard.
So we can just have me saying I am the jizz kid.
Oh, that was perfect.
There
It
we
was
go.
isolated and
Cuckoo,
everything. There was no other sound.
Eventually, I'm gonna start diving in and like finding all the weird like stutters that we make and doing what the guys on Red Letter Media do to Rich Evans all the time.
What's that?
Hard cut loop, the weird noises we make. You made one earlier, Chris, and I was like, "Ooh, oh no!"
Oh, did I?
You
Ooh,
might be
I've
the
got-
first.
note that.
Ooh,
You might be the first.
I'm honored.
Who kill him?
Just
Oh my
gonna
god.
fuck with you people.
Kill.
You have the power to do
I do have
this.
the power. I'm just lazy.
I
I even know how to do it.
Man, that has kept so many people safe from such
It
good
really
trolls.
has. Like, we be thankful that Jake's laziness has prevented him from taking over the world, ladies and gentlemen.
dead.
Oh my goodness.
Is that what that is? You want to kill everyone?
Listen, I played a lot of Evil Genius. All right,
So
I'm
you've
just
got
saying
it
I'm
all
pretty good
planned
at.
out.
I'm just pretty. I basically have had the training because violence is trained in video games, as we know.
Yeah, did Trump have his summit yet?
I don't know. I'm sure no one showed up.
I would show up. See, here's the thing. Why doesn't anybody invite me into these high-level government things? Well, this person's no. Like, if the people who are up there are not qualified anyway, I'm no less unqualified than the unqualified. You know, come on, bring me in there.
I
Invite
can't
me,
argue with you
guys.
on that.
I'm super cool.
Listen,
Invite me to your party.
some of these jobs have lifetime, like health care and shit. Just slide old Billy Boy in there. All right, I will. Whatever you want to make, you could make me the news guy. I don't care. You just hey.
What the press secretary?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I was told to say. Fuck you.
Well, no, go ahead and ask me a hard-hitting question.
Do your curtains match the drapes?
What?
Nothing.
Were you the jizz kid?
Were you the jizz kid?
What? I'm sorry. What?
Were you the jizz kid?
I can't hear you.
You sound a
Have
lot
you got
like
jizz in your ear?
like
Describe the
Scaramucci
consistency of your
for the
last
few days
turd.
that he was there.
I think there's something wrong with my. What?
Got jizz in your ear?
Boom! I am like, come on! I'm a shoo-in.
You'd be fired right away.
Who would fire me?
Me.
You can't do that.
Jake Tron would fire you.
Oh,
Jake
no.
Tron.
President Jake.
The guy really pulling the strings. Oh my God, President Jake Trump.
I have the power.
I think
Yep.
Arnold.
Yeah.
Ah.
No.
That is a dead-on impression, I imagine, of Arnold
to the-
Schwarzenegger.
You do not fuck with me. You are a fucking choir boy compared to me.
Hey, Arnold, is it a tumor?
It's not a tumor
Okay, thanks.
at all.
Check.
Genevieve, what's the movie?
For It's Not a Tumor?
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like he does something with, is it not daycare? I don't know, it's
Oh,
like
you're close.
You're very close. Ooh. There is a pre to this,
Before first grade.
but there's one before that one. It's the
Preschool?
pre.
preschool.
It's a German word, actually.
And
German word that
Oh my
occurs-
God, it's Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, come on. It's before first
Well, at
grade.
least we know we can't
yes.
spoon
Things to
feed
guess.
Genevieve.
Garden of Children.
Yes, the
Was it-
Garden of Children.
Instead
Yeah.
of breathing heavily, you could have guessed anything.
Look, I'm good at one thing.
Come on, run this show. Run this podcast.
I think we're just about due for a little breaky pie. Gotta
right.
get our heads together and wake
All
up.
right.
All right, we'll talk to you in a minute.
Silly episode.
All right, we're back for the second part of the Genevieve show.
We renamed.
Fairlet est über alles.
I don't know why to me that sounds like it would be a show on like 90s MTV.
Fairlet est über alles? Or just
No, the
Fairlet
Genevieve show.
The Genevieve show, okay.
Well, there was Clarissa Explains It
I get-
All.
which is being rebooted, by the way, with Melissa
Melissa
Joan
Joan
Hart.
Hart.
Oh,
yes.
shit.
Man,
Oh, boy.
she was on that other show with Sabrina.
With the
teenager.
cat.
She's got two shows with two first names. Clarissa and Sabrina. You ever met a Clarissa in real life?
No.
No,
I don't think I've met a Sabrina either.
me either.
I feel like I have.
But wasn't Sabrina the psychic
She's a witch.
Pokemon
She was the
trainer?
teen witch.
No,
No, you're thinking. Oh, yeah.
that's what's up.
You're
dog.
right. You're right, homie.
All right. So anyway,
Sabarino?
where were you going when I so rudely interrupted?
No, you're fine. I recently found in my super relevant research of the Pinterest universe
Okay.
that this new trend has started where instead of just writing in a diary or a journal, it's called bullet journaling. And I've found it very effective. And that's what I was doing before we started this. Basically, it's you are still journaling, but you do everything in a bullet form and you have these lists. So you have like accomplishments and things you want to do. Usually it's like for me, I did like goals for Derby, goals for my PR accounts, gym goals, movies and TV shows I want to watch, and like for the year. And people get really detailed with it if you look on Pinterest, or I think there's like YouTube channels too, where they get like really creative with the decorating it. So mine is just words and pieces of paper, nothing too extravagant. But then yeah, for each day you put in just like the major things that happened, or you can use it as a to-do list, and as you like go through it, you check it off. So you know, like today I was supposed to do this task for work, or go to the gym for 30 minutes or something like that. And if you do it, you check it off. If not, then you like can move it to the next day. And it's just, it makes it easier and like shorter. Because I've always felt really awkward writing like a personal narrative when journaling. Because I've tried, and I'll do it for like a day or two. And I'm like, I just don't like this.
I've tried doing that too, and I like it. The issue is I write too slowly. So it takes forever for me to make a journal entry. And then typing, it loses there's some sort of like haptic
It's different.
enjoyment I get out of writing with my hand as opposed to typing on a machine.
What's the difference between a to-do list and this style of journaling?
Like for today, I guess it depends on the time of day too. I had written like Bill was Bear. Bear made breakfast, went to podcast, hosted podcast, actually I think is what I put. And like things I need to do. I have some derby related stuff I need to get done, which isn't necessarily today's work, but what they usually do and what I'm going to try to do is have like a key for different things. So instead of just doing like a line as a bullet, you can do other things. Like I did stars, you can do like a circle. So different things mean different stuff. And I can't even think of like all the examples, but they'll have like the to-do list. And then I think one did like an unfilled triangle as like the little symbol next to it. And when you do it, you fill the triangle in. And then like things you have to get back to, you can do like an arrow forward, arrow backwards, like just different ways to categorize it. Like I said, people have gotten really detailed about it and like meticulously.
So it's like a more interactive way of prioritizing your tasks.
Yes, pretty much, yeah.
But I mean, she's saying that not everything is in the future, right? She's making entries as to what happened around her as well.
So it's like a to-do list, like an interactive to-do list that is also like a record keeper.
Right. So like if I look back on today's for what I have, I'm like, oh, like had a great morning, came to the podcast, hosted, and then I was thinking about planning these other things, or these ideas showed up. And what I think I want to do if for like derby really things is I'm probably going to have, like each day has a page or half a page or something. And then when we get to our monthly meetings, I'll have a whole page just dedicated to like what we talked about, what needs to still be done. And that way, like I have a way to reference back to it instead of always taking notes on my phone and forgetting about it. And then, so then it's like a permanent to-do list that is with all my personal stuff, so I can't really lose it.
I can definitely see an advantage of that over, using normal English to write in your diary, like, dear, my dearest journal, today I sit here and observe that my feet are far too large for my body. And like now you would just put like an unfilled in star and be like feet too big, and then
accomplished,
and then like an exclamation point for to do, chop feet off. So like I can see how it would really free you up to plan and record what's going on around you without like a lot of pomp and circumstance that might deter you.
I think for me, I don't know how much is the ADHDs and how much is just my personality, but I've always been like a bullet points. I like to write out, if I'm writing an essay for school, you make your outline, you know what you're going to talk about. And for me, that's like, if I could just submit that, I would, because putting things out in sentences and like making things seem like a story or like with a plot, and I don't know, for me, it's harder to do that. And it's just so simple and doesn't take a lot of time for me to just put in the key points, the bullets.
I totally agree, because I remember like for me when I was struggling at writing papers, and like I ended up writing pretty decent papers, but I definitely put a lot of the success of that because I was really good at doing the outlines for these papers. And I would like bang out the outlines like so fast. Like I wish I could do my papers that quickly, but what I liked about doing the outlines more was that I wasn't so concerned about
how you phrase
like
it.
That. Well, even that was not even like I didn't have to put any filler in. Yeah. I didn't have to worry about like the length of the paper, about having like the amount of words. It's like, okay, this is what I'm telling you right here.
For me, that was a problem a lot of times. It would be like I have my topic sentence in my outline, or like topic like bullet really, and to go to write the paper, I'd be like, all right, I don't know what to do as like my intro sentence. Like I don't know how to hook people into the subject, and even just thinking, like trying to word these things out took way more time, and I was like, does that sound right? That doesn't sound right. How should I phrase this? Is this going to connect to the next sentence?
Yeah,
Or
it's like, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. But imagine if you had to be like, have you ever chewed bubble gum? Well, if you enjoy that, maybe you'll like kicking ass. It's just it's just too much. No, I mean, a little more seriously.
That would be a great paper.
I think that information transfer person to person is trending towards the style that you are more comfortable with. I mean, we no longer have. I think the glut of information that we have now means that what is becoming most important is information now in a digestible way.
right.
Right. So one of the interesting things that I heard, I think it was Jay Leno was talking about the electric car possibly supplanting, or whatever is going to come next, the internal combustion engine. And he has, if you don't know, he has like huge garages, tons of cars, really obscure, rare ones, very expensive ones. He loves his vehicles. He has his own shop. But he says, he's not worried about it because what's going to end up happening to the internal combustion engine, or ICE, is going to be what happened to horses. Used to be everybody had horses. Then along came the ICE, and horses didn't disappear, but now there's something that's kept around, for fun and appreciation for, the inherent artistic or beautiful nature or whatever it is of them. And he sees that happening with oil or gasoline engines. So I'm sort of trying to draw a parallel between that and flowery information conveyance, right? It used to be what everybody did. Everybody knew how to write that way, and we all learned it in school. And I don't think it's necessarily bad if we start to move beyond it. I mean, look at tweets. Tweets are limited to what, 260 characters now?
140, right? Is it,
No,
They just upped it.
They increased it.
Oh, okay.
It might be 280. But major news information is disseminated in that way. It's not a complete paper, article, or whatever. It's just getting the information out there. And I think very talented people who remind us of the beauty of elocuted, can I use that as a verb? Description will still exist, and they'll still have their place, but as we grow and progress, the priorities change.
Yeah, but that's also slightly dangerous in the fact that because it's so quick, that's as far as people are going to go. They're not going to go out of their way to fully investigate something, to actually truly learn about it, to actually memorize it and remember it and be able to go through their Rolodex of a brain and regurgitate that information again.
I wish
it's already starting to show.
I wish that Frank was here because if you remember on some of our earlier episodes, I would be so frustrated with how the market works in the video game industry. And he was unfazed because it wasn't to him, is it doing what it should or should not? It simply is, right? And to me, information transfer between peoples is sort of going down that road. And you're right. People are reading highlights or headlines, and they're not really getting into it. But I'm also seeing, like on Reddit, somebody made a bot that every time there's an article posted, it goes and it gets up to 12 other articles from 12 different sources and also post those right in the discussion. And they say, try to source your information from as many things as possible. And it analyzes the difference in headlines and that kind of stuff. So I think that people trying to they know that we sort of know that people aren't necessarily going to research everything that they read. So other people are coming up with ways to convey more accurate or relevant information in a digestible way as well. I don't know if that's completely true. There's
even a bot that does a TLDR too.
Yeah.
Too long it didn't read. Yeah. Just to even make it just to be into that format. Just to here, this is it.
Right.
Done. Move on.
And this is one of those instances where I think sort of a non-traditional approach to it might be good. There are just some things that people aren't going to do or don't want to do. Right. Well, how do we give people what they want in a way that's really good? And we still have a long way to go in getting good information to everybody,
especially in this age of like crazy bananas propaganda. Well, there's always been propaganda.
Propaganda.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we are in an active grumble zone with the Russians because they've been working us since before the elections and probably forever.
I mean, really, anything that like has an American flag. Well, no, I'm sorry, that is a very far reach for me to say like
Back
that.
off.
But a lot of the stuff that like you see that's like, you know, military based or America, you know, guns. A lot. I mean, I guess you could classify that as propaganda.
Well,
it is there. There
tell-
is American propaganda.
Of course. I will tell you this much.
I'll tell you what.
There was a law that you know, the government couldn't use propaganda within America, and that law no longer exists. So I'm sure they're working this over pretty good. But to sort of bring it back, you know, there's something sort of romantic or nostalgic about this idea of keeping an in-depth journal about all your feelings and
Right.
my dear diary.
Today I felt sad.
And I, you know,
So-and-so didn't text me back.
and my tummy hurts, and I couldn't go to the bathroom. Sometimes I remember the days when I could. Why? I'm making the poop jokes because Frank isn't here.
Yes.
But you know what? I guess people moved away from that, and maybe this new way is really going to be better for everybody. So how long have you been doing it?
Not very long. I tried starting it earlier this week. I think Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure, but today is when I filled out most of my lists, and today's actually the first day I put in as a log, because it's something I've been thinking about as soon as I saw it. You know, first came across it, and like I said, it was on Pinterest, and like no one really gave a good description of what the fuck was going on in this book that someone made. Like it was just, there's different ways to do things. You can have like a chart and well, yeah, someone.
There's different ways to do things.
Yes.
Interesting. In
That's my
fact,
tagline.
there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Oh, what?
my.
Oh my, revolutionary.
What are we using cat skins for?
It doesn't matter.
Boots? Fur boots?
Or
I
boots.
don't know.
I'm sure
Boots
they're
and
warm.
cats.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
So, speaking of, you know what? Speaking of diaries, and I haven't decided to do this yet, but I think it'll work for me because I'm not very good with like. My handwriting's atrocious. I can't draw. Like my journal, if I started doing what you were doing, it would be ugly.
Well,
like
okay,
me.
That's why I'm trying to keep it simple. Like I do like to doodle, and I do draw and paint. I think we all know that, but I like playing with fonts, like doing different kinds and like making them. It's just, I think I'm not pressuring myself to make that right off the bat, because part of my research, I was like, all right, what the heck's going on? There's charts, there's diagrams, there's doodles everywhere, and like weird things going on. Like it was very confusing. I ended up watching a YouTube video where she kind of explains it, and I can't remember her name, but she goes through and she makes her, like she sets hers up for 2018. So she goes and makes all her lists and does all these doodles, and like everything's beautiful and done with like a felt tip pen. Like she has specific pens and gets a specific book for it, which is like a dotted, not lined. So you can do more creative stuff. You can draw, like it looks better when you doodle in not lined paper, and like it looks beautiful. But I was just like, I am never gonna be able to keep up with this. Like I'll do it for like 1 or 2 days, and then everything else is gonna go to shit. So I'm just like, I have this lined notebook. I'm just fuck it. Like let's just. It's gonna do the job I want it to do, and at least this is like a practice run. Like if you know, in a month I'm like, I'm done with this. I don't even want this anymore. I'm not wasting money and time trying to deck out my diary for Pinterest. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like they do it for, like I guess like kind of you do it for yourself. You decorate it so it looks nice, but then it's kind of more for like.
Yeah, it's almost bizarre to have something to say something like. I keep a diary for my personal stuff and then post it all over the internet.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they don't post, at least I haven't seen like a fully filled out like page by page. This is what I did for the whole month of March, but they show the layout, at least the design. So
just look up Anne
lists.
Frank's diary. It's a good example.
I know, that's right. And that reminds me,
Really dudded out for Pinterest.
one of our favorite memories as a family, while we lived in Belgium for a while, we went to go to Amsterdam. Amsterdam? Yeah. That's where she's from, right?
Oh.
Hey, Frank? Why do I feel wrong? Either way, we go to Anne Frank's house, And, it's this very serious part of history, very somber, where, just you get a little tour. Of course, it's not a very big spot. And we come out of the house and, we're like, all right, well, that was very interesting, very educational. What a hard life. Like, all right. It's on the canal. And there was a very active gay pride parade going on right outside.
Nice.
Like riding boats down the canal, giant penis floats, and assless chaps, guys, like all this. And I'm like 7 at the time, I think.
Nice.
And it was kind of just like, what's going on? Like at the time I wasn't aware of that kind of stuff. Like it just wasn't a part of daily life. And then I remember my parents just being like, oh shit, we cannot fake our way out of this. Like there's too much going on. We just have to be like, all right, it's a gay pride parade. That's a penis. Don't pick up the condoms, just leave them. You don't need them. Like, let's just go. Like, because they were like handing them out and stuff. But like, it was
Some
so
Midwestern-
obvious that like
Some Midwestern mom who stumbled across our podcast, her head and heart are exploding right now.
Which I mean, I think is good. I mean, my parents were just open about it, and like they've always been open. But it was a lot of fun just to think back on it. Where like, of course, we're kids, and me and my sister, and we're like, there's a parade. Oh, there's people wearing like all these colors. Let's go like get closer and see what's going on. And you're like,
giant dicks.
yeah, exactly. It was just like dicks everywhere, and like people dressed in drag, and oh, it was great.
Dicks
Great.
out for Harambe.
Yeah, and well, but the funny thing is, we were talking about the other day, and my mom was like, "Yeah, we could never go back because who's gonna top surprise gay pride parade coming out of the Anne Frank house? Like, how do you go back and not like you
It
can't
doesn't
do
get
better.
much better.
Yeah, you can't get
You know,
any better.
I've always sort of had some reservations about the Anne Frank diary.
Yeah,
And like, they removed some stuff was removed from her diary, so that it was a little more. I don't know. I think there was like other things that a young girl thinks about, and as she's growing into a person that were in there that her father might have.
I think it was her father. That's what I've heard at least.
Wasn't there like something
Something about her period,
Yeah.
like menstruation, which I mean, like it's confusing
Right.
when you're young and that's starting to
I
happen.
mean, I remember being confused about it.
You're still confused about
Burn.
Good one.
But I have serious reservations about reading anybody's diary, but a dead person's diary. You know what I mean? Like, I sure as shit don't want you guys reading my shit when I'm gone.
I think it's
Too late.
because of the time period and the place in which she lived and what happened to her that her diary kind of blew up the way it did.
I understand the reasoning. I still don't really like the idea of like perusing somebody's diary,
Oh, yeah,
even
fuck
if it's
that.
even if it's
It's like going through
historically
someone's
relevant.
browser history on their computer.
That's what I was just about to say. I'm like, let's piece together what Bill's about. Oh shit, this guy was a monster. I'm glad he's dead.
I can trust you guys to delete my browser history, yeah?
Yeah, we'll just blow it up. We'll just blow up your computer.
I wouldn't have it any other
Oh,
way.
like actually explode it?
Yes,
Okay.
explode it with a grenade. Right after we do
It's a
that,
mercy, really.
It's a mercy,
It's a
really.
mercy, really. Right after we do that to your corpse to make sure you don't come back as a Zambambarino.
I appreciate that
because
I don't
I
want to come
will
back like
not
that.
be turned into a zombie by a zombie Chris. Absolutely not. It's not fucking happening. So if you go down for whatever reason, I'm just
Going
giving you a
down
heads
forever.
up now.
I appreciate
Tell
that.
your
I would do the same for you.
Thank you. Tell your mother to
mercy.
say goodbye. I'll be like, why don't you leave the room, Mrs. Chris?
Mrs. Chris.
I'll close the casket and also plug your ears. Also step behind a barrier.
Also, just go home. Just
Yeah.
get out of here.
Just leave the immediate vicinity.
So here's the thing that I think I would do. I think I would do a voice
Like record
journal.
Yeah.
and that's where I was kind of going before. Alexa has an app called Captain's Log.
Captain's log. Stardate.
Oh my goodness.
Thursday.
It is a thing.
That
and it
is
there.
awesome.
100% they are combing through that.
But
I'm not
Alexa.
Oh, it's,
Captain's Log.
it's
Thursday.
anonymized. The amount of the amount of data,
I killed a man today.
the size of the data set that you need to surmise really applicable things about an individual are so small. Like, okay, so they have those goddamn license plate scanners,
And I'm pretty positive when they hit your license plate with those scanners that they passively use on different vehicles as they drive by, you can plot the location of the vehicle. How many of those license plate scans do you think you would need to determine that somebody's cheating on their spouse? I can't imagine it's a lot. If you had, I don't know, 10 of them one day a week, you're like, they're over here every week at this time, and they're such and such is gone. It's just, and I'm not saying it's like super easy. It would take some level of investigation, but like the shit that they say is secure and anonymous, I don't really trust it. But here's my issue with keeping a voice recording. I look back 10 years ago, and I physically cringe at myself. I look back 5 years ago, and I physically cringe at myself. I think back about myself 3 weeks ago, and I go, wow, I'm glad I'm not like that anymore. Like, I don't need a record on a computer that the NSA can sniff around in or whatever, or I can accidentally email to somebody, or I can forget about and somebody picks up a flash drive. And that, like, I cannot deny is me with some of my dumbass ideas that I have now that I'm sure I'll outgrow in 5 years. A journal, it's a lot less easy to confirm it was me than like my voice. First off, second off, I can burn that
Exactly.
really easily, and then guess what? It's gone forever. No one ever knew. So, which is funny to say because I'm sure in 3 years when I look back on these episodes of the podcast,
You're like, damn it.
We're gonna cringe so hard at ourselves in 3 years.
But G, you got to be careful with your journal logs, because if I'm ever on the run from the government, they're going to piece together my profile from
my journal.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, he made breakfast on her birthday. Oh shit, he's got to be in the Gulf of Mexico.
That's how that works. It's code. It's just code. That's all. Just I won't put anything illegal in it, and we'll just call it a day.
Well, I don't do anything illegal. So
no, you don't. Okay.
So I'll tell you though, I have found that writing down my feelings every once in a while really helps it get out, you know, because otherwise it'll be stuck in my head. I just wish I was better at keeping a journal. I really do.
I think this is almost not even about feelings for me. It's more, never is. It's more about kind of like, it's about the to-do list part of it. So I can keep track of accomplishing goals and keep my eye on what needs to be done.
All right. So in front of us here, Jake has looked up in the Google Play Store a video game called Dear Diary Teen Interactive Story Game.
Which I know we're all dying to see.
Oh, I need this.
I felt like we should make this relevant somehow. So I Googled it, and there is a game called Dear Diary.
It has 4 stars from 350,000
probably
reviews.
Just like a playthrough where you choose answers for people.
Destiny is one tricky thing, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
What if you could be its master? Meet Anna Blake, a girl who is making her way through high school, and help her make life-changing decisions. Every choice you make will interfere directly with Anna's fate. And that's kind of awesome. Sneak peek at Anna's diary and join her in all the amazing adventures.
Kill me.
First off, like high school fucking matters.
She's not even real.
Rick, the handsome and popular football player. Or Martin, the smart and cute guy. I'm stopping. That's enough.
No.
No.
Oh my God, go back up. Come on.
Nope.
I have to read the rest of it.
Okay.
I am intrigued.
Red or blue dress for prom night, even harder. Going or not going to the prom, and with whom? Question mark, exclamation point. Studying or going out. Kissing or waiting.
Tough decisions.
Waiting to kiss?
Yeah, what about a little help with that? Dog, if this was anywhere close to relevant, it would be like, fucking or not. All right? Come on. Give me a break.
Which is really just the game of Tinder.
Yeah. To get on Tinder as a tween or not.
Oh, Jesus.
I used to have a game like this, actually. It wasn't Dear Diary, and I can't remember what it's called, but it is. You like play like this high school kid who tries out for football, and they have a little stupid mini game for football. And you have to like choose between the popular cheerleader girl or the like goth, too cool, hipstery kind of girl. And it's just like, you go through this process and it's like basically you could like fly through it in 20 minutes and do all these different situations where you choose different people, go on different dates, or choose to do homework or not. And like that changes things for you, but it's just, it's a good way to kill time, but totally meaningless and just like, I don't know. I guess you could say it's like a sim. You're kind of living someone else's life.
Hey, Jake, can you scroll down a little bit so I can read one of the reviews here, please? Okay, let's see what Bethany says. Really good, fun game. Although just be careful. When you have finished one thing, you sometimes have to wait ages before being allowed, ALOUD, to do another episode, thus marking it so I nearly forgot I had he game. But apart from this is really good, fun game. I would defiantly recommend it. PS there. Next one is a Google user. I love this. It was fun and easy, dear creators.
Oh.
I think that 1.59 is completely a rip-off of for just 5 keys.
What?
And that 12 hours till the next game is too long. I think 3 hours for at least 2 keys. I know you need the money, but last time I deleted this out of frustration, plus had a... Oh boy. Last one. I love the story a lot. It was fun waiting patiently every 12 hours to know what would happen next. Suspense was so dramatic, and I enjoyed every bit of it, but 4 stars because it has been 5 months since I installed the game, and I'm still waiting for Season 3. That's a robot.
This is exactly the reason why I don't read reviews for anything.
Because they're all
But
illiterate.
I only go word of mouth of people that I know because it's flooded with bots like this. It's terrible. This is not a good, accurate assessment of this game. I mean, the game probably is garbage, really. Actually, no, probably not, because it's got an overwhelming 5-star.
Do you mean to tell me that a Google user is not trustworthy?
Google user says, plus who has a crush on a teacher? That's just wrong. Did you grow up
What?
Like,
anywhere?
Anywhere, bruh?
What? Crushes on teachers are totally a thing.
Yo, fucking Van Halen.
But
Like, come on. It's
hot
real.
for teacher.
All right, wait, go up because there on the side there was another game. If you go up a little bit, oh shit, where are the other games that were also? Oh, you gotta scroll to the right. With the
No? Yes, no.
they had an advertisement. They had pictures of other games on the side of the screen.
Are you hallucinating?
There we go. That one, okay. Is it love? Drop something. The very bottom. They're fucking. That thumbnail. Those cartoon people are fucking.
Oh my goodness. It's probably, yeah.
Is it love? Drogo vampire.
This is a whole series of games, like a whole subgenre of like just like dating sims.
Well, think about it, okay? You walk into a grocery store and half of their novel selection is smut.
Yeah.
Of course there's going to be free-to-play games like that.
I actually read
on the
somebody
Google store.
who they used to make like $700 a month from writing like 1500 to 2000 word smut, like erotic fiction, and you sell it on Amazon for like $3. And once you put out enough titles, you just keep recommending yourself. People will go through and eat it up. And they were making $700 a month just passively from their hot short stories.
What?
Yeah, we need to get into this.
Yo, bruh.
Right? I can
even make it the podcast themed with all of us.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
I was telling
Like a
Chris and I will
fiction?
cornhole every other weekend.
I was telling G that since she plays roller derby, I was like, listen, we got to come up with we got to do roller derby, sexy roller derby exploration. You know, you got to write about what you know, right?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Which is sexy derby exploration.
And that, I mean, you could rope all sorts of fetishes in there.
Literally.
Stinky old derby gear.
Oh, okay.
Definite foot fetishes. What else? You could have real tough girls. You know, I mean that practically writes itself.
It does. I read it.
Or maybe we could just create these. You know what? Maybe we should start playing these video games. I'm 100% sure if I played this shit, it would suck me in. Like, I mean, it's
suck you off.
It's like, well, whatever. It's like when I used to watch. I used to be in a room where fucking Kardashians was on, and you know, I'd be like, "This is so." No, it was Real Housewives. I mean, this is so fucking stupid. And then 4 episodes later, somebody else in the room is like, "Gonna change it." I'm like, "Yo, I got to find out what happens to Cindy. Like, leave it. Come on, I got to see what happens." It gets you. All right, tell me this is an amazing hook. Is it love? Drogo vampire is Otome in English. Interactive. Like for television series, new episodes, chapters are regularly released. This love story romance game is free to download.
It's free? And we get to romance a vampire?
And that sexy vampire has white hair. Dude,
Ugh.
I'm willing to. Okay, my
cannot.
point was with these erotic novels that you can make money off of. This is probably a huge community.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
What are these like miniature, like free to play, like episodic vampires games?
Yeah, look. Oh my God.
See,
There's
they're not actually having
everybody's
sex in this.
cute, and then
Yeah.
it just gets sexy.
And she has no eyes.
Dude,
How
this
can you not want this?
I'm just waiting for the tentacles to appear. Really.
no. Look how
That's
they're
like a bonus
holding each
feature.
other in moonlight.
That's you have to pay in game
Dude.
for that.
How are we not making these games? We're so stupid.
Honestly, though, it's probably not difficult to like make those games.
If we just got like general animation down, and if any of us had drawing artistic talent,
If
aside from
anyone.
Genevieve, because it takes 10 months to
You
complete
know-
something. Listen, I'm saying you're already very busy as it is.
That's true.
Then maybe we could make $1 million, but
I'm a very busy woman, and I haven't got all day. Don't need much, just your voice.
all right.
Little Mermaid.
Jesus.
There we go. We tied it in a video game somehow.
There we go.
So yes, smut games.
Smut games.
Perfect.
Are we ever gonna do an episode of like? Are we ever gonna play those games that they advertise on Pornhub?
Dude, okay, one
Wait,
time I tried to get to
Well,
one
yeah.
of
Have
those-
you had an experience with those?
I tried to get to one of those games that made you come 3 times in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck
Or,
it
yeah,
was.
make sure you're alone when you play this game.
I got through
Don't tell your girlfriend.
14 separate pages of clicking and entering fake data, and I had to keep track of it. 14 pages. There was nothing. There was no
there was no
goddamn
game?
game. No.
Oh,
Like it's like a picture. Like even when we watch,
Dragon
not even on a porn site, which is like fucking a big ogre banging like a fairy or something. We're on like an anime website, and it's just some girl with gigundous boobies. That's the only thing shaking in the animation or judge. I'm like, there's no game there. It's just fishing for your data. I don't know.
See, as big and as respected as Pornhub is, you would think that they would get rid of malicious ads by now.
Dude, I clicked on an ad one time by accident, and it took me to a page, and there were like animals doing
Ooh.
shit, and
Yes, by
like
accident.
there was like photoshopped.
Ugh.
I think it was photoshopped of things that like I don't even want to speak about. It was like one of the most alarming things I've ever seen on the internet. And like I'm not even being funny, and I immediately X'd out of it. And I was like, do I
need to blow
do
up
I
my
report
computer.
this to somebody? Do I call the FBI? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like it was off of a reputable site, but it was like the URL I couldn't even remember. It was just a series of random characters through an ad I bumped, and I was like, I'm just gonna pretend I never fucking saw anything.
Until now. And now it's on
Yeah.
voice recording forever.
Well, whatever. I could be making this story up. You never know.
That's true. You can never tell.
Yeah, what do you do?
Fake
Do you
news.
report it to the porn police, the Pornhub police?
I mean, if it does involve child pornography, at least I know on at least on Imgur, if someone posts child pornography to Imgur, child pornography to Imgur, I'm pretty sure they're reported to the local authorities. At least their username, and then they take it from there, and then they obviously investigate.
I think that Google has specifically an underage pornography algorithm that they run all the time.
Yeah, so you can't get to it, right? You got to like dark web that shit.
I wouldn't know.
I mean, that's
I mean, that's what I hear.
my basic knowledge of the internet. I would imagine you would have to dark web to find that kind of
Yeah,
crap.
but even if somebody does post it, I think it like is really, really good about finding
Finding it.
and reporting it. But if you report things like there have been, I go on like legal advice, Reddit subreddit legal advice. There have been underage people who like, I sent such and such these pictures years ago. I was 15. Now they're on the internet. What do? And they're like, contact the website, contact Google, and contact the FBI. Everybody takes that shit really, really seriously.
Yeah, because I would imagine most like reputable pornographic websites, they take that kind of thing very seriously. It's not a joke, and I'm pretty sure that it is generally accepted that that kind of shit is not a joke. I mean, most people that go to prison for that kind of shit don't survive because the inmates who are hardened criminals, they do not take pedophiles well. Any kind of crime against the child is definitely frowned upon in the prison system. So yeah, it is definitely taken seriously, just in that respect, at least.
That leads to a whole other discussion about people in our prisons getting murdered. It's kind of bizarre.
It's like a whole other culture.
Yeah, but if we're sending people someplace, shouldn't we not be allowing them to just get murdered?
I think that's usually that's the goal, but
Well, we're talking about video games. There is a prison tycoon like simulator.
I was just
Really?
gonna ask, actually.
I want that.
I haven't. Yeah, you
I'd
do.
play that.
That sounds interesting.
No, it's
No, I
real.
would play that.
Okay. Well,
Can we play it?
yeah, I just got to buy
Let's
it
get
on
it.
Steam. It's on there.
All right.
It's gonna be a Black Mirror episode where it's actually real people that we're controlling, and
You're
they're
building the
murdering each other.
prison that you were later put into.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Because of the crimes committed in the game.
Oh boy.
That'll be fun.
Oh.
Yeah, this whole discussion we just had reminded me of the Shut Up and Dance episode with the kid who looks up child porn. And then I don't know if
Of Black Mirror.
yeah. And then he gets blackmailed into doing a bunch of stuff.
Well, that was the whole big twist. Genevieve kind of led with the basically they did something on the internet. There's like a whole community of people being blackmailed to do these things, and like rob a bank, transfer this product, steal this vehicle, give it to somebody else who's also being blackmailed, and they all have their secrets. And in the end, they're like, do this and we won't release this information. Well, everybody does everything, including like fight to the death. And the people with the blackmail release it anyway at the end. And I think they literally send a troll face as part of their like secret.
Yeah.
But the kid who the story follows, he like got recorded jerking off to you hear his mom like, how young were they? And you're like, oh shit. Ooh, yeah. Black Mirror, if you haven't seen, is pretty darn good.
I heard it was very good. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, though.
I haven't liked
so
the
good.
fifth season as much as I liked the other
last
four. But it's still pretty solid. And that's on Netflix. It's easy to watch. It's like stressful for me to watch that show though, because it is pretty plausible.
Yeah. I mean, it's all like they're all set sort of in the future, and like they focus on a certain type of technology that's been advanced so far. Like you would think it's ideal, but it ends up having like this whole other side that's not actually great and changes society in some way or has this other effect. So you think like, I don't remember the examples of, I don't know, they're just,
It's probably not worth getting into the whole thing.
right. But it's something that I know like someone I was talking to was like, I can't watch more than one episode, then I need to like have a beer and just like sit down for a moment and just decompress.
Well, there's that one episode where your whole life is defined on your like score,
Social media,
and your score is by how people rate you in real life. So if you and I were to have a conversation in a hallway, we would then leave each other and either upvote or downvote each other as people. And
so Yelp for humans.
Yeah, but if your
pretty
score
much.
gets low enough, you get like kicked out of your neighborhood. You can't be friends with people anymore. It's like this, that, and the other.
Oh.
It's like really extreme credit scores
Yeah.
for your personality.
It's like an influence in like an RPG, not RPG. I guess an RPG.
Yeah, it's like a credit score on steroids.
Oh.
But Chris, I think you wanted to talk about EA a little bit.
Oh yes.
Yeah, let's shit on them because it's great to do
Because
that.
why not? We just reviewed one of their games and we all thought it was cool. So let's shit on EA.
I thought of this because I thought that this game is very beautiful, and then in terms of beautiful games that EA has made, the new Battlefront, as we all know, it does. We've all seemed to be in agreement that the game is extremely sharp looking. The big issue with the game was the loot boxes, play to win, yada yada yada. Or pay to win, not play to win.
Play to win. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
that's
Play to win. That's preposterous.
madness.
How dare they?
I play to lose. But they recently announced that they are removing loot boxes and the whole play to win pyramid scheme bullshit crap thing that they had in place for the game. But going through several of the gaming communities on Reddit and other various areas, people are still, even though EA is not going to implement their loot boxes, we are still boycotting EA, in case you were wondering.
Can you give me a quick review of what pay to win is and what loot boxes are?
Basically, what the big uproar, and I'll just give what the big trigger was for this particular game for the new Battlefront was that to get Darth Vader, the most basic of basic, enemy playable characters.
In this game, Star Wars Battlefront.
Right. The most recognizable character in the franchise. You had to, it was something along the lines of like 400 hours or 40 hours of play or pay to unlock him.
After you already paid full price to purchase.
After you've already paid full price for the game.
Now, and when we say pay to win, there are different games that you can pay real money to get. Let's say it's like a war game. You can pay real money to get super powerful rifles that you can't access through gameplay, which makes you ultra highly competitive. You shit on everybody. That's pay to win. This is basically paying for something that should already be in the game.
Right, something that's already in the game. In the UK, it's definitely up for debate on whether it's considered gambling because a loot box, you don't know what you're going to get. You're just going to pay, and you're going to get what you're going to get, and that's it.
So loot boxes provide that kind of content, but it's done like a jackpot, like a slot machine.
Pretty
right?
much, yeah.
So like you put in money and you don't know what you're going to get
You don't know what's coming out of it. I think the only like guarantee was like you were guaranteed like one rare item. But I don't even know if that was accurate.
One item that is designated rare in scarcity, even though they're all digitally created.
Right. Exactly. Rare.
No, don't worry. They run all their items on a friggin' blockchain.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Get that.
But so they decided that they were no longer going to do this with the game for massive backlash, as we know, from the gaming community. Huge boycotts of the game, boycotts of anything involving EA. Really, everyone. It's EA's history is no big secret that they don't give a fuck about us.
Yeah.
But they so anyway, I keep saying that, I keep repeating myself. They removed it from the game, and basically the general consensus is still fuck you, EA.
Wow, I can't believe that there is a consensus that might actually be useful. Because when the Xbox One came out, it had all that goofy shit that people didn't like. It always had to be connected to the internet, like an always on camera, always on voice activation, and people were like, fuck no. And Xbox went, okay, don't worry about that. We got rid of it. And then people bought the system anyway, which means that they'll try it again in the future. Maybe when it becomes more normalized with all this crazy ass captain's log journals always listening and Alexa and shit, whatever.
The thing though,
but this might actually be effective because people are like, no, we're not buying it anyway. You never should have tried.
Right. That, and also I think what's also being very effective, and this has been going on a while, is that hardened gamers like all of ourselves are warning parents who are completely unaware that this is even a thing. Because if you really, really think about it, a lot of these measures that EA, a lot of these transactions that EA was putting in are very, if I may be as bold as to say, predatory.
Okay, continue on that.
I feel look at let's just keep riding on Star Wars. It's a very, very popular franchise for people of all ages, especially kids.
Yeah, that was a big shift. The original series was sort of for everybody, but when the prequels came out,
it was
Lucas said
marketing. Yeah,
Lucas just said this is for kids.
I mean, it was originally, even the original Star Wars. I mean, George Lucas took a huge pay cut for making the movies and pretty much starved himself, because if it was successful in his contract, what he managed to do was he's like, I can guarantee you merchandising. And he goes, I want X% of merchandising sales. Guess what made him his billions? Merchandising, the toys, the action figures, the costumes, all of that.
So basically, it's predatory in that it's targeting children to want.
It's predatory and I say it's in predatory is because the kids are playing it and the parents are buying. They're not playing games. They don't know what they're like. Oh, here's $20, and the kid buys the loot crate for $20 and doesn't get shit, and they keep doing it again and again and again and again and again to build their character and win this game. And the parents don't know, so the parents are blowing money on shit they don't even know. They don't even realize that it's even would be considered predatory.
Yeah, I have a whole level of reservation about advertising to children. Period. Did you know that there are countries where you cannot advertise to kids?
It's a big reason why Camel got rid of Camel cigarettes.
Yeah, but even you can't even advertise.
Well, they were ordered to, I think.
They were ordered to.
Yeah.
But it's along that same vein, yeah. It was an advertisement to kids because the Camel was a cartoon, with human features. And they had to cut that out because kids wanted to smoke because they thought Joe Cool Camel was cool and smoking was cool.
I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to convince me that it would be bad to say, listen, companies, you have to stop advertising to children, even if it's for a toy. I'd rather you advertise to the parents and try to convince them to get it than trying to convince kids. Kids are, they always like, oh, kids are surprisingly smart, but also they're kind of dumb.
They're pretty dumb. They're the thing is that it's not so much that kids are smart. It's more of that they're at the age where they're developing and they're soaking things up like a sponge. So it's not necessarily that they're smart. It's that whatever you're putting in front of them, they're going to remember. They're going to absorb that. But yeah, that's.
So, and when I say kids are dumb, I'm not trying to put kids down or whatever. It's just, I think we can all agree that they lack life experience to not be duped by certain nefarious practices that on the whole adults have probably experienced at some point. And I think it's a lot easier for corporations to take kids for a sucker because they just haven't seen it. They haven't been there, done that.
They haven't even experienced, for us, we would get full-length games, never even had to consider paying anything extra for anything else hidden in the game. Yeah, that's what the cheat codes that we had to figure out were for. That's what exploring the maps and finding little secret areas or finding the answer to a riddle in the game was. We're now these kids are going to start thinking that the norm is to pay a little extra to get these features that we had to work to unlock ourselves.
And that's the thing about normalization over generations, right?
Yeah.
These companies have been around for forever. They got time. As long as they don't fail, they'll eventually wear people down if people don't get active about it. But we talked about this on one of our earliest episodes. If they do something, and they screw over their base, because most gamers still, I would imagine, the biggest market is the youth. Then they grow up and they either stop playing games or they remember for the next time. But then there's a whole bunch of new kids who will come in and fall for the same goofy stuff. You don't even have to come up with new tricks because these new kids that you're using the same old trick on that you used 7 years ago, they don't remember it because they weren't there.
They weren't there.
I've been waiting around for EA to finally make its big misstep. And when Star Wars when Disney bought Star Wars, I was a little apprehensive because Disney they'll put out good movies, right? But I don't know that they really put out anything gritty or adult or, I'd like to see a real dark Star Wars, a adult kind of thing. But I never really imagined that it would put us in a position where EA might actually have some consequences for its money-grubbing actions. And
losing Star Wars as a contract from Disney, that's what millions.
That's what people are really thinking. The concern for ESPN, also owned by Disney, the concern for Disney is going to be, I'm sorry, EA, is that Disney might pull the Star Wars contract if the game does poorly enough. Because how can you fuck up Star Wars?
You really can. But the thing is that from what I'm hearing though, the game it's a quality game. It was just EA. It was EA's prior reputation with gamers that I think really shot them in the foot, and then they just lived up to their low expectations that gamers have for the company.
That's great. Well, the gaming community is growing. I mean, there are so...
Oh, absolutely.
Dude, my dad sent me a funny little comic the other day. It's because he listens to the podcast. And it's a guy, he's climbing a really tall mountain, and on the top of the mountain he goes, "I am the old man of the mountain. Ask me any question and I will give you the truest answer." And the guy who climbed the mountain turns and goes, "Why do people pre-purchase video games?" And the wise man of the mountain just goes, because he can't answer it. You know,
I don't think I would ever pre-order a game. I don't think I'll ever buy a brand new game again ever.
Yeah, I mean,
and then there's a whole thread on Reddit that I absolutely love called The Patient Gamer.
Yeah, it's a whole subreddit.
There's a whole thing about it, and that is me. I bought a brand new game once, and I was thoroughly disappointed. So I don't think I'll ever buy a game brand new ever again.
You know, and typically I'm like that, but I bought last week. I bought what the hell? Into the Breach, brand new for $15, and I don't regret it for 1 second. But I haven't bought a full price 60 price game in quite a while.
Mine was Wolfenstein when I bought it, and we all know how I had to amend my assessment of that game several times.
Yeah.
It ended up being just a giant fucking disappointment. Thanks,
wow.
Bethesda. Kind of why I hope that Bethesda doesn't get the Star Wars contract, because I hope they don't ruin a fucking Star Wars game.
I mean, Bethesda itself is like, they had a core community that would accept it with all its flaws, and then they tried to make it more generally appealing, but at the same time they took away sort of that focused charm on its old fans, and now people just aren't ready for the bullshit anymore. Like, they keep putting out buggy games.
Yeah,
it's like quality assurance testing. What the fuck is that? Says Bethesda. I mean, it's unbelievable.
There's no denying, though, that Bethesda puts out gorgeous games.
They sure do, but, you know, I mean, if EA shorts its customers, and, you know, they always want more customers are being made aware that they're getting shorted from these loot boxes and microtransactions. Bethesda's getting more popular, and more people are becoming aware that they put out games that have known bugs in them. Game-breaking bugs in, like, actual releases. As a little note, can I say I finally beat a playthrough of Into the Breach?
Oh?
Yeah. I defeated... So, doing certain feats, you get these coins that you can unlock different squads of mechs. And I saw at the bottom there's one, customize your squad. So I ended up making my own, not prescribed, and it was wicked OP, and I shit all over the game. Like, I went into the final boss with full health. All my mechs had at least one weapons upgrade. Like, I had this thing where heal one mech, heal all mechs. Another thing where it fully heals every friendly thing on the screen once per like battle.
That's helpful.
Yeah, I ruined the computer. Which I mentioned before, this game was made by the same people who made Faster Than Light, FTL. I've never beaten FTL. And I beat this game. And, like, it was weird because FTL, every playthrough took a long time. And, I mean, you could lose you could lose soon. But anyone that really had any legs took a long time. It took really long if you got to the final boss. So it felt like this whole experience. And each time, like, you couldn't grow as well because I felt like there was more random resources given to you. So you're like, oh, I didn't even get a laser in this one. Whereas Into the Breach, I felt like I could sort of expect what to get. I could make a lot more decisions in how difficult the playthrough was. And I basically went you can go through 4 islands. I just went through 2 and jumped right to the final level, and I think it took me maybe 25-30 minutes to beat the game because I had a goon squad. I made a bunch of really good decisions, and then I beat the game. And I was like, somehow I'm left not fully satisfied. Now, will I continue to play? Yeah, I haven't even unlocked the 4th island yet. So there's a lot of replay value. But I got to say I was a bit underwhelmed with my achievement. I don't know.
I had a sort of an opposite experience actually just this morning. I'm still playing through Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and I got to it's mission 30, and it's the Skullface mission. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the end of the game. It's the end of the story. It's a good stopping point. Wrong. There's still more game.
What?
Like, a lot more game. There's a whole nother chapter. And I've already put in probably 50 to 60 hours of the game.
Wow. What game is it?
Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I'm still playing it. I thought I was done. I was so wrong. And actually, where it says mission game completion, I'm only at like 38%. I was at such a logical stopping point for the story. Nope. So you got more, bud. And I'm like, I'm so happy about it because there's so much like I know I can still unlock. The game is a blast. It is by far the best stealth game I've ever played. I've already loved the Metal Gear Solid franchise already, but like I was so blown away that there's still a whole second half to this game.
That game cost $80 million to make, and everybody loved it. I have not heard a single...
I spent $21 on the game because it was on Xbox Gamer Pass, and I was just like, screw it, I'm going to buy it before it comes off.
Yeah.
I made that money back already.
Hideo Kojima was behind behind that whole series, and he has since left Konami, which was, I think, the publisher and the developer. Maybe just the publisher. Anyway, we've talked about it before. Konami became a pachinko company, which is some sort of Japanese gambling game, and Hideo's making his own new series. Boy, I hope it's as good.
I have no doubt that it will be. The guy's an artist, and he's a visionary, and he's an incredible storyteller. He definitely knows his shit. He does his research. I have no doubt that he will not put out a bad game, especially if he's breaking away from Konami. He's there, and considering how much Konami fucked him, he's going to prove a point. He's going to make a quality ass game.
Shit. He made a game before the whole Metal Gear series that it was like a click detective novel game with some shooting in it. 2 best friends played it. I can't remember the name. Genevieve, do you remember that game? We watched 2 best friends play it. It was like in outer space.
Was it a first person?
Yeah, it was first person.
And oh no, I don't remember what it's called.
Snatcher? Is that the game?
Police Knots. That's what it was.
Oh, that one. Okay, no. I was totally thinking of something else.
Well, anyway.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Police
That's
Knots.
awesome. That's an awesome old game. If you haven't been exposed to it, Chris, you should. You probably find it really cheap and play through it. It's a lot of fun. The story's nuts.
It looks like Danny Glover.
Right? Well, it's basically like
it looks like Lethal Weapon.
It's basically
it's his Japanese version.
Yeah, it
in
turned out like
space.
Japan loved the Lethal Weapon series, and it
Holy
You know.
shit! This is Lethal Weapon. Like I don't care what you say.
but in like a space colony.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Well, anyway, there's a character on there that has a tattoo, and this is years before. Her. Meryl, I think her name is.
Yeah, she was in the Metal Gear
That tattoo
game.
is the logo of a Metal Gear, like...
She's in the first game.
Yeah, he came up with that years before. Like, he's had that story. He's had the Metal Gear series story in his head forever.
I'm sure
this
because
game
it's
isn't even a Metal
detailed.
Gear game. It's just got a character that he used later. And it, like, the tattoo is from some military division that is later used in the Metal Gear series. Hideo is unbelievable.
I would love to know like the world he has in his head.
Maybe he's just a very complex simulation robot.
Well, I mean, he is also, Japanese, so.
They come up with some good stuff over there.
Yeah.
All right, G, what do you got for us now? What are we doing?
Oh, I am not sure what else to talk about. I don't have any new game updates.
Oh, I do have something. I forgot.
Okay.
Overwatch is making some
Oh, that's right.
changes. they're adding a character. I think her name's like Birgitte or something. I don't know. You know, they have native speakers say their names, and my Anglo tongue just can't fumble through it.
Well, where is she from?
Who fucking knows? I just watched the like stinger video of it. It was like 2 minutes. She's like she's not really a tank. She doesn't have all that health, but I think she's got a shield she can carry. She's got a mace she can throw at people, and like she can, in damaging enemies, peripherally heal allies close by. She's got a shield so she could get close and like smash people. She's a melee medic, and it looks awesome. Because right now there's a really aggressive healer like Moira. Like she's a healer, but she will fuck your shit up. Like if you're close enough, she just drains your health, and as she drains your health, she gains it. Right?
Ooh.
So you had better shoot her in the face every time that you shoot at her, or you're going to die. She will outlast you. And God help you if she can launch her little energy ball, because she can launch it and either heal everybody it passes by, or if you're stuck in a hallway with her, she launches it that drains your energy, bounces off all the walls, in addition to draining your energy. And both those things, draining your energy with her short range attack, and both those things restock her health. So I played her when I first started playing Overwatch. I did not do very well. I leveled up to, I got to like level 65. You can get basically, I typically get 1 level a night playing now. And that's like an hour and a half of playing. So I probably got 65 hours in it now. Holy shit, that's crazy to say. And then I played, and I had the most kills of the round. With this character, I played like 5 times. Just because I understood the game better. She is wicked strong. But now they're making a melee version of that with a shield. Good gravy, great balls of fire. That is going to be, it's going to be Billy's new favorite. I'll tell you that much. The other thing that they're doing is there's this character, Hanzo. He's an archer, and it makes it interesting because, his arrows drop a little bit over a distance. But so often they're like one-hit kills. And I don't know if it hits you, like, and it's fully like, because it takes a half a second to draw it. In my experience, if I get hit with it at all, I'm dead. If it's anywhere near my head, I'm dead. If it's in my body, I'm dead. I don't know for a fact, but I think it does. Anyway, he's got this goddamn extra attack where he shoots basically a shotgun arrow that shoots the arrow, shoots 3 more arrows from wherever it lands, and then it bounces off all the walls into the space in which he shot. So if you're in the room, just if you're anywhere in a room that he shoots into, anywhere in the room, you get hit with it. And each one of those little arrows is a kill. It's a kill arrow. And like my buddy I play with, he's like, yeah, even if you get hit in the foot and you're a tank with 600 health, it'll kill you. He might have been. It's so strong. Well, they're fucking nerfing it. Oh my god! And like I've enjoyed the game so far, and I learned to live with it. But the fact that Blizzard is taking the time to balance things and add new characters, they'd already added 2 characters previously. They're adding another one. It's Be Still My Beating Heart, and they're nerfing this character that I've learned to hate but live with. Gotta love the support. Own a game for free. No, you play for free. You paid for it initially, but I play for free. It's thumbs up, Blizzard. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. I am very, very pleased, and I am highly anticipating this character. All right, well, should we take another break?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Sounds good.
Catch you on the flip side.
back for the third section of the Genevieve show, which is all about the Steam sale. So we are going to talk about the games that we see on Steam and rate them and decide which one we would pick as our top buy or top choice.
Free weekend RPG Maker.
Ironically, it costs money though, right?
I don't know.
10 to 75% off.
RPG Maker is a means for anybody to more easily create role-playing games. I think it's not like the graphics aren't super complex. I think you can add different character drawings like sprites and stuff. I think you can change art, but basically it gives you assets to create the layout of a world. I think it gives you hold on. No. Excuse me. It gives you the means to create characters and basically lets you flush out all the story, fine-tune the combat. It has like basic structure, but you can define a lot more of the rules. It gets rid of a lot of the difficulty that would prevent your average Joe from creating their role-playing game dream.
Question.
Yeah.
Should we get this and can then we put our faces in and
Yes.
be these people and go on adventures?
Yeah, but we'd have to also create the adventures ourselves.
It's basically not Magic the Gathering. What's it called? D&D, but in a game.
More early Final Fantasy
Okay.
and JRPG. I don't think you can do much with the gameplay element so much, but you can like build the worlds and the plot and the adventures.
Well, I think it probably has. It allows you to manipulate different triggers for different events. So, like, if X happens, then Y happens in game. And I mean, the way that information is presented to you, like the different pop-up windows and the dialogue windows and shit like that, I think is probably baked in there pretty good. And you have to work within the different framework that they have for combat systems. I imagine it's typically turn-based combat, but it's it seems to allow quite a bit of customization. I guess I'm not really arguing with you or anything, but I don't think it. There's quite a wide variety. Okay, so I'll put this out there. One game that I watched a playthrough of was Charles Barkley's Shut Up and Jam Gaiden.
What?
Yes, a post-apocalyptic world that was destroyed in a horrible basketball slam dunk accident.
Yes.
Where you play the son, I believe, of Charles Barkley, who needs to save the world.
By playing with cartoon characters?
No,
Against
no.
the Monstars?
It's literally, it's not Space Jam. It's
Oh, okay.
a post-apocalyptic world, and it is amazing. There is a Two Best Friends playthrough. I highly recommend you watch it. You will then want to play the game. So, while there is a framework, I don't think that you're necessarily pigeonholed. So, it's pretty good deal. It was pretty cheap.
$20?
$20 for the basic, and then $35 for the package. Oh shit! Call of Duty.
Oh no.
How much? 35%?
Already World War II, 35% off. Ooh.
Franchise collection, 81% off at
For-
the better part of $200.
Oh.
Wow. Original price.
Slice.
Yep.
Pleistocene
$1,000.
value. The original Call of Duty, $10. Call of Duty 2, $10.
What
4,
the fuck?
Modern Warfare, World at War, $10 a pop.
Dude, you can get all these games for like $3 at a Goodwill or something.
Yeah, I'm not terribly impressed. I mean, the
Anyways.
recent games are...
The way that they get you here is they include all the DLC.
Yeah.
That-
The DLC is almost at like, they're each at like 35% off. So what was 15 is now just shy of 10. Okay, well, these games have been out for how long?
I really think that these games are appealing if they can somehow bring back everybody's favorites and have a thriving community. I know there are people who reflect positively on games that they used to play, but they're just not active anymore.
If you are lazy and have never played the Call of Duty games and want to play all of them, and I reiterate, you are lazy, This might be worth it.
Perhaps.
It might be worth it.
Look, you
$200 down.
shamed
A lot
a
of
bunch
playtime. Okay. Maybe.
Without the multiplayer aspects, though, you're probably going to get like 10 hours a game.
PC, I think a lot of those multiplayer communities are still up. I know the older Call of Duty games are the most popular ones.
Oh, okay. All right.
I can't speak with authority, though. It's just my perception.
This Activision collection looks pretty interesting. I guess they made Call of Duty and plenty of other games. They're selling for $252. Gun. I've never played
Gun?
that. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I remember that. I never played it, but I remember seeing it.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Prototype. Oh my god.
Oh
Wait,
shit.
is that in here?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not even on sale. It's just like in there.
Oh,
How much is it?
$20.
Why you don't need to buy that? We already have a
I
playthrough
know,
started.
but it was fun, and I want to go smash people and turn it into a freakazoid.
Well,
and
we got to get
Prototype
it.
2 at $40. I'm sorry.
What?
I adore
Prototype.
both prototype games, but they're years old. How is this thing still selling for $40?
That's a good.
The only thing in here that's discounted is like Call of Duty games.
Yeah, I'm annoyed.
Okay, no thanks.
Activision.
Thumbs down.
Fuck Activision.
Suck my ass.
Suck my
Anyway.
ass.
Foxhole.
Ooh, I've actually looked into this game a little bit. I don't know how the hell the gameplay works.
Wait, what?
I can't remember if it's a first-person shooter, if it's top-down.
Looks like it's top down, kind of. Ooh, third person.
Right? But it's a
Or-
persistent
no.
world, so combat actually matters. Like if you take territory or lose it or whatever. It's like set in World War II. I think you can work with other players online for squads. You build different areas.
Looks like a strategy game. Looks like an RTS.
But it doesn't play exactly like it. I think you're in
actually a
control of a
potato, though.
single character. Yeah, see, like join a tank platoon. I think you join other players and then battle, and like your supply lines can be disrupted. I do have to get hands-on on this because it is so intriguing. Seems like it'd be so complex to make it work right.
Early access. But for $12, it could be cool.
Hey, look, one friend has this game. What's his little picture there? It's a fucking Snorlax Pokemon card. I wonder who that
Nice.
could be. It's me.
Maybe.
It's $11. 40% off. $11.99.
12.
Steam World Dig 2.
Okay.
All reviews overwhelmingly positive. Recent reviews very positive.
Looks like
looks like Dig Dug, yeah.
But a modern art style that's appealing.
A little faster.
Really good light effects.
It
Bender
has
is
the
apparently
Iron
in
Giant.
the cast.
Yeah.
Ender the Iron Giant.
35% off, $19.99 to $12.99. I have to do some more research on this one. If the reviews told me it was great, I might be interested. Oh, shit. This reminds me of a game I used to play where you'd have to dig and then things would fall down. Shit. What game was that?
Was it Dig Dug?
Dig Dug.
No, it wasn't Dig Dug. It was something else. Some other stupid game I used to play and always lose at. It was like...
Any game?
It might have been like... Might have had to do with like fleas or
Dig
circus
Dug
fleas
2.
or something. Oh my god. I'm gonna,
Electric
all right.
Diggery-do?
All right, dear Bill. Make a note right here. You're gonna go back and remember that game because it was hard and you wanted to get better at it. So
Duplicate
Yes.
listings of Call of Duty for some reason.
Individual copies.
Yeah,
what the hell's Black Wake?
Huge content update. I have to tell it my birthday. I was born in 1958. Enter.
Ooh, January 1st, too.
Oh, here we go. It's some pirates. Black Wake 3.0. They chose this.
Pirating.
It's a first-person
Shooter?
pirate game.
They chose the pirate font.
You jumped
Microsoft
very,
Word.
very far.
Oh, you shooting a
got
gun?
Several different
This
kinds
looks
of
like a lot
weapons.
of
Oh,
fun.
you have an
I got
axe.
Oh shit!
And just like a plank of wood, it looks like.
Oh, this might be delightfully shitty.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Kind of has a like a DayZ or 7 Days to Die kind of vibe, and with the engine, the way everyone's hopping, or like early Counter-Strike with everyone hopping around. Pretty funny looking.
Choose your ship.
Choose your ship.
Oh, perfect.
I was concerned that
The
it wasn't
world
piratey
graphics
sounding.
look pretty good.
For
The
new
textures look
ships.
fine.
Ships to build.
They're definitely. Oh, somebody just ragged
The
all
physics
way
are pretty. This looks like Counter-Strike in
Bomb
Pirate
catch.
World.
Yeah.
I'm pretty okay with it.
It looks like they're using creatively some engine's basic assets.
Mm-hmm.
But this looks like a ton of fun. Oh boy. It seems like one of those games that might not take itself too seriously and could end up being really great.
It just disappeared.
Jesus
This
Christmas.
is pretty silly, and I kind of love it.
Like if you hit a part of the ship, it's just no longer existing.
Black Wake 3.0.
Out now on Steam.
Okay.
They just released new
For
content.
early access.
$40 off.
$12.
And the soundtrack, sure, that's something. Why
They
don't we
like,
make it?
they like to throw in the soundtracks nowadays, don't they?
Why don't we just make a dog shit game and put like our friends' music up there and be like, "Oh, this is the soundtrack. Give us $6."
You can have a game with it.
Right.
You might like it.
Endless Space 2.
What is?
What? That sounds like there shouldn't be another one if it's
This
endless.
looks pretty sweet.
Pathfinders?
Oh, I don't know. I've never heard the term Pathfinders in any game before. That's
No,
new.
never.
I really like how this video won't load.
Are we sure it's a video, not a graphic?
No, it's a video. It's got the play button.
Okay. Sega. Ooh, here we go.
Ta-da! Thank you.
Looks like we're in space. They're showing us stars, constellations.
Oh.
And
It's
some
frozen.
lag and some buffering. There we go.
Oh, it's another advertisement for
Bluetooth.
publisher.
3 years ago.
3 years ago, we were drifting through space.
Then we had to buffer.
All right. Can we actually out of this just look at the goddamn description because this looks pretty
Impressive.
yeah.
I see spaceships. I see tentacle monsters.
Strategy space sci-fi 4X. I don't know what the hell that means. Turn-based. Okay, so it's a turn-based space game with really good reviews. 50% off. They want $20 for it. And it came out last year,
Almost
May
a
of
year
last
ago.
year.
Yeah.
No, not trying this one out for $20.
If you're really into it.
I guess so.
See, that's
That's pretty much
That's
it.
it.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 at $10 each. I would recommend either one of those games. If you like one, then get the other. And the early Call of Duties, if you really want one or two of them, might also be worth $10 a pop. But that's about the best suggestion I could give. If you want to roll some dice, I'd probably vote Black Wake.
Dude, a 100% Black Wake. That is
Yeah.
the only one that really got me excited. If you're doing like me and you're waiting around for software so that your incredible $1 million games can, well, you can eliminate one excuse on why you're never going to make them, then buy the $20 RPG Maker because that's a pretty good deal. World War II Modern Warfare, if you were really interested, or Call of Duty, I haven't heard great things about it.
The early Call of Duties, skip 3, but 1, 2, 4, and Modern Warfare 2 are all quality first-person shooters, in my opinion.
But Black Wake is the only thing that's really engaging me right now. For $12, I mean, come on, that looks like so much fun.
Yeah, Counter-Strike on the high seas.
Yeah.
This is really what it looks like.
What are you thinking, Chris?
Yeah, I was leaning on Black Wake. That was the only game that really kind of. I mean, I'm kind of over the whole Call of Duty thing, so really the only thing was Black Wake for me. I mean, Endless Space 2 looks cool for me, but I like space stuff.
$20 is
so.
steep.
But yeah, that's the only thing is the price tag really. Like
For
I
a
think
game
that's
we
what,
know
for
nothing
me
about.
that's what put Black Wake over. They both look fun, but the price for Black Wake was more appealing.
I think I'm still in agreement with Black Wake. I just want to fuck around as a pirate with terrible graphics and stuff going on. Maybe the was it Steam World, the one that looked like Dig Dug?
Oh, yeah. That was weird. To find it again.
I said that one. It's
Steam
also-
World Dig 2.
Is it $12?
Dude, I'm telling you, I was playing
13.
some damn mini game that
was
was
like maybe
just
that.
like this. Was it? For some reason I feel like it was Mickey Mouse Racers. I like.
You're high. You are-
My brain is really trying to turn over,
You are
but it's just not working. Oh boy.
I don't know why though. Like, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I don't think I'd pay probably half of what they're asking for. I'd probably pay $6 for this game versus the 12.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's so stylized that they focus too hard
It
on
looks
this
like a
stuff.
mobile game.
Yeah, it doesn't, and it's from
face value, I suppose, it's not really making me think that it's very substantive. Like, it looks like they focused a lot on the art and maybe not on the gameplay, because the gameplay looks so sort of familiar and unremarkable. I don't know. Oh, there was a review they included. I whooped and hollered like a demonic seal.
Oh.
All right, that doesn't
Sold
sound
me.
like, yep, it doesn't sound like something I would ever say. So, but maybe it's a great game.
Well, maybe
Everything's positive.
you've never whooped and hollered like a demonic seal, so
I sure
you just
hope I
gotta try
didn't.
it out.
Like you said, if this was down at $6, all right, $3 for sure. But
I'm thinking for the deal, I would still stick with the. Was it Black Wake?
mhm.
Yeah.
Black Wake.
All right.
Pretty much unanimous for Black Wake there.
Black Wake. So buy it if you hear this in time for the sale. I think that is concluding, or that will conclude our episode of the Genevieve show. We will see you next week.
Well, don't forget, listen to our misfire.
Oh, that too.
If you're
Yeah, one more time. We did this episode's a little bit on the short side because we basically did a double episode. The misfire that we recorded before this was on gun control in the wake of the Parkland shooting. Very serious topic. We still found ways to laugh, of course, but you almost have to when you're getting heavy like that.
Yeah.
And that lasted as long as one of our standard episodes. We had a special guest on, Tim, who had some very particular prescriptions related to it and to the matter as a whole. And very insightful conversation. Could have gone on much longer, but we had to stop somewhere.
Yeah, who knows if that'll be a whole thing. Keep an eye out. Next week, we're still supposed to have a couple of special guests fall through a lot, so we'll see. G and I are looking to start creating a little bit of playthroughs, so that'll be coming down the pipe, depending on like when we want to release that and how well that goes. And then I'm going to try to get us some content for 2 tickets, no admission.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks again, Genevieve, for running the show.
Yep.
Do you want to do my typical sign off?
No.
Cock 'em,
Do
lock 'em,
it!
and rock 'em, baby. Shh.